I didn't lose. I withdrew. Fight's not over until you're dead. Sometimes something's important enough to die for. But sometimes you need to pull back and regroup. He shook his head, reached for a clean folded towel, and held it out to her.
No, you're deliberately twisting what I said. Not every fight can be won, Anna. When you're my age, you'll see the truth of it.
When you're my age. Like he was some ancient, tottering grandfather and not a man who'd barely broken a sweat tossing her around. She took the towel and wiped her forehead, wishing he was ancient. If his wise and ancient years would slow him down just a little, maybe she could dump him on his ass for once. The flush of embarrassment was gone, drowned by a fresh wave of anger. Anger at him, sure. Deacon was a patronizing son of a bitch who couldn't stop treating her like a little girl playing dress-up. But that was nothing compared to her anger at herself. Deacon was the brick wall she couldn't stop throwing herself against, no matter how emotionally bruised it left her. She knew better by now. She was never going to win his approval. And fuck him for making her want it.
You're learning a lot from Ashwin. Maybe we should make those informal training sessions formal. Get everyone in the room.
The compliment was meant more for Ashwin than for Anna, but at least it didn't sound patronizing. She let it smooth the edges off her anger as she started to pace in a loose circle to keep her muscles from tightening up. Everyone could benefit from his lessons. Hunter's already working with him, so is Gabe, but only with blades, I think.
Don't forget Reyes.
The words were flat, almost sardonic, but Deacon's eyes twinkled. Anna had gotten this far for one reason. Anger never overtook her sense of humor for long. She huffed out a laugh and stretched her left arm until the pull turned into a satisfying burn. Yeah. I don't know if we can call flirting with Cora until Ashwin is ready to pick a fight with him a comprehensive training plan. I mean, sure, the rest of us like watching them go at it, but structure is good too.
Careful, or I'll put you in charge of organizing it.
You just want me to have to put up with all the bitching about extra training.
When have you known me to give a shit if they complain?
Deacon draped his towel around his neck and eyed her appraisingly.
No, you need a project.
Anna tamped down the first rush of excitement and stretched her other arm. Deacon could think she'd be good at it, or he could want to give her a job that kept her busy at the compound and off the front lines of every fight. I have a project, she reminded him finally. My dad's information network.
You need a project that's yours, he corrected. But the information is too important to set aside, and his contacts trust you. You'll have to do both.
I can handle it. The words were reflex. I'll talk to Ashwin and see what the options are. I'm sure he can teach us a lot more than just brawling.
He's Mackay,
Deacon said simply. A year ago, Anna had barely understood what that meant. The base's most elite soldiers were more myth than reality to the people who'd grown up in the sectors. She'd listened to stories about grim, terrifying men with psychic powers who could make you disappear from your own bed behind a locked door while your family slept nearby, oblivious. Ashwin didn't have psychic powers, just highly enhanced genes, and the kind of brutal training Anna couldn't wrap her head around. Her father had never gone easy on her, for sure. She'd been practicing marksmanship by shooting bottles and discarded pottery to earn spending money from the time her hands were big enough to hold a gun. But after she finished, her father would join her as they sorted through the broken shards for pieces the mosaic artists could use in their work. He'd crouch next to her, picking through the pieces of glass so she wouldn't cut her fingers, and tell her stories about her namesake, Santa Adriana, daughter of the prophet, who had personally attended Anna's birth to bless her first breath. He'd tell her stories of the world beyond Sector 1, beyond any of the sectors. He'd tell her stories of the world before the flares, and how quickly it had all changed when the lights went out.
You've always got to be ready, baby girl.
Every time he put her in the dirt during training, he'd haul her back to her feet with those words. William Jordan hadn't been ready for the world to end when he was 12 years old. He'd fought those dark years to survive, fought until the fighting made him hard. But when he'd pushed Anna, she could always feel the love behind his toughness. Anna didn't think Ashwin's training had involved a lot of love, tough or otherwise. Maybe that made her excitement over what he could teach her a little morbid, but Ashwin didn't mind. If anything, he seemed to relish the chance to pass on his hard-won skills. So she would accept Deacon's project and poke and prod her fellow riders until they were all benefiting from Ashwin's tutelage. If Deacon thought that would distract her from the front lines, he'd be